Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello, Steeler people.
Oh.
How are we doing? Yes, this is actually my face. This is what I look like. If you tuned into the 17-day podcast we did for the start of the season, we're actually on Zoom. Obviously, it's working a lot better. We've got Philip, we've got Callum, we've got Stephen, and we've got Ding Dong, apparently. Must be his Chinese lover's name.
I have to change that. I shall explain before I start. I do a lot of Zoom calls with the family, and it was basically my ma was dressed as a witch for Halloween, so we had across the top "Ding Dong, the witch is dead." So that was me.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
I shall rename myself now. Bear with me. There you go.
Yeah, we all believe you. We all know it wasn't meant.
It's somebody's toy bride name.
It's either that or a Big Ben reference. Either way.
Yeah. We all know it's not like, you're not putting asking men to put credit card details in and then picking up yourself.
You won lottery.
You got me. I'll come clean. Back up.
Well, there we
are. So, as I've just said to the guys before we started recording, it's just like a mid-season little sort of review, how we've got on, how the games went, what sort of excited us, who's excited us. What we're disappointed with, what can be improved, and then we're going to look at the rest of the schedule and have a look at that, see where we all think we're going to end up at forward in January. So I'm just going to start off with the game against the Bears. For those that stayed up, us hardcore nut jobs, just the typical Steelers game. You enter the fourth quarter and you've got that feel of dread.
It was horrible, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, just the typical. You're just in control, but I think my take is personally, I think you got to credit the Bears defense. I thought they played absolutely outstanding, really well.
The Bears actually were quite good. I agree there, definitely.
And they kept in the game. They kept in the game.
Say they were without Khalil Mack. Pressure, how they did was incredible. Like Robert Quinn had a great game.
He did, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, so we had a sort of a healthy lead going into the fourth quarter, 20-3, and then typical Steelers, just let them all back in, and Fields started to find his groove. Really, for the first time this season, I think. He had some good stats by the end, and obviously just the very end of it all was just absolutely mayhem. I thought the 65-yarder that the Bears attempted at the very end, I thought that hit the bottom post.
It did.
Yeah.
No, he missed by about 5 yards.
It's deceiving out of those.
Yeah. It was very deceiving.
I thought it hit the crossbar the way
it did. Yeah.
Because I think at half point I shouted "fuck off."
Like 10 minutes out, wasn't it?
If it was Justin Tucker, I would have understood. I probably would have turned it off and gone to bed thinking we lost. But yeah, so
you know what? I wouldn't have been angry if he got that, because.
No, I guess
Heinz Field as well.
As much as my team, I mean, what was it, 65 yards? Can you imagine if you got that? That'd just be unbelievable. I mean, in some ways.
No,
as well.
And that last little bit there, if you got that, I would have been going, I can't believe we just lost that. We deserve that. But then I'd be like going, you know what? It's a pretty good field goal.
Heinz Field as well on a Monday night. With 3 rivers probably blowing and everything. Yeah,
but
fair play.
Do you know what? If it was a 6 o'clock or a 9 o'clock game, I probably would have clapped my hands and But it's just the fact that you make the effort to stay up.
Yeah. Oh, mate, it was horrible, wasn't it? Yeah.
And I hate losing late games like that. I just hate it because I just think, what a waste of time.
I'm in such a bad mood the next day if I don't win. When you're really invested, to play a game. I was literally standing up. I had about 20 cups of coffee. I didn't have a single cup of coffee in the second half because I was that wired. And I was starting to drop, obviously, as you would expect. But that last 5 minutes, I was pretty much standing up all the way through because I just saw like the whole game just dying. And I was just like, I know what's happening here because I've seen it before. But I saw something that I read something quite interesting actually. It was the standings, like the team rankings. Obviously, it changes every Tuesday, doesn't it? Steelers have obviously gone up, and the Bears have actually gone up a place. And because they said, they held their own, and that's it's probably quite just. And they said the difference between a good and bad team is a bad team might scrape a win or whatever it might be, but a good team, when playing bad, will find a way to win. And to be fair, we did.
Yeah.
And we've got to give ourselves credit for that. I know we let it go down, but we still won. And
a win is a win, isn't it?
Exactly.
Regardless of how you get there. But like looking back at it now, you just think those 3 quarters, that would have been a great game. If a great result.
Leave it there.
Just leave it there. The fourth quarter didn't happen. But it was just a capitulation of a lot of things collapsing, wasn't it?
Basically, at this particular stage, the Steelers in the Dragonfly life.
Team Dragonfly.
The Steelers right now are pissed up in a club. Snorting cocaine, having 20 shots of bloody absinthe, cutting their own ears off. And all for a laugh, and that's what we're doing. They're in that stage of the lifestyle, if you know what I mean. The first few games, they were still shitting in the nappies, but now what's happening is they're just going through now. This is just going through. I mean, it's like that 24-hour cycle, isn't it? That's all they live for. So, yeah, that's what's happening. True story.
We'll just end the podcast there, just on one of Phil's
It does say something. It is frustrating. Of the 5 wins we've had this year, barring the Bills game and obviously the Browns game was wire to wire, could have gone either way at any point in 60 minutes. It says something of being a Steelers fan where the other three games we've won, we've been on top, dominant. I think we've had 14-point leads in all 3 of those games: the Seahawks, the Broncos, and now this one.
Yeah.
And each time it's like you can just sense Keith Butler starts to hold back the secondary. Get a little bit more conservative in the play calling. We tend to be a little bit more soft zone. The offense tends to be just a little bit more conservative in terms of play calling as well. And there's something really frustrating about that kind of habit because it makes us look worse than kind of what we
lack of adjustment.
Absolutely.
And just resting on your laurels that you think you can just get to the quarterback every time, but then the defense
playing with fear as well. I think on defense.
Yeah. I think the defense like kind of they tire out though. They tire out, and then you've got to rely on your secondary. And my gosh, it's getting to a point where if you see Minka, he's just doing so much. He's just doing so much to try and cover the lack of.
I think they actually said on the. I haven't watched the tape on Monday night yet, but I think one of the analysis, I don't know if it was Baldinger or someone else who covers the Steelers from time to time. They said there was 3 plays on one series the Bears had where it was cover 3 and Minka made the play every 3 times.
Oh, it's brilliant! Yeah,
every single time he's going into that kind of robber zone.
That stop he did was amazing.
There's no other free
in those robber packages.
There's no other free safety that can do that in the league. No other.
Well, there was that sweet play towards the end, and Mika just seen it just more than quicker than anybody.
Straight dart, like a dart, straight to it.
Yeah, unbelievable. That was probably his best game of the season so far.
Well, no question. No question. I mean,
it's been tough for him because he's been this season for some reason we've been moving him around a lot. We've played him as a slot corner. We've played him in the box. He's best as just a centre fielder or playing in the robber package. That's what he's best.
Yeah. You know what though? No, you're right. Exactly. He's been relatively poor. But this happened last year, though. He had a slow start last year as well. But the last couple of games, he really stepped up. And I think he's just finding his groove. And like you said, the Bears, he had a fantastic game, really. And I think it's just finding what suits, doesn't it? Because you have to remember, still, it's a fresh team. It's relative. I mean, you're saying before, like about the we seem to back off a bit. I'm wondering if that's because they're still working out where the strengths are and where the weaknesses are and stuff like that. Because it's apart from like the veterans, it's a bloody young team what we've actually got here, and they're working out everything as they're going along. And I guess
that's a plus, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, of course it is.
Isn't
and
it?
we still won.
Perfect.
And I mean, it's insane. I mean, like if you think about like a normal football team, when you're up, let's say, I know it's different because 14 or whatever, but if you're up several goals, you normally take your best players off. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I know you wouldn't do that in the NFL, but you that's when you start maybe looking at changing things a little bit just to see how it all fits in, just trying new stuff out. Why you've got that cover, why you've got that cushion. Granted, It didn't quite work out that quick. We actually lost that cushion. But the point I'm saying is like it's still all. This is a proper developmental season for us because we've got so many young ones.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to miss. And I know obviously the situation with Melvin Gordon didn't work out. Melvin Ingram. Sorry, I always get this team mixed up. Not having him in the team is going to hurt us in the long run because I said at the start of the season he might fill that kind of James Harrison role where an offensive line is tired. You're in that fourth quarter, everyone's banged up. Suddenly you bring a fresh pass rusher into the game that can just wreck it and take it away from the fourth quarter. Yeah. We kind of might have needed that. Maybe in the free agency period, we could have done with maybe getting another piece or two just to kind of, close out games. And this defense is so good in the first three quarters. You do wonder if they just get tired. And especially with the Justin Fields, who can beat you not just with his arm, because he's got a phenomenal arm. I mean, Cam's got ridiculous. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, he can move around and
once he makes the right decisions, he'll be a great player.
He'll be a great quarterback. Yeah.
Once they get some protection in front of him as well, because they get some fresh pieces on that O-line because they're a bit stale, but they were still impressive, but they're just a little bit stale in that O-line. Once we maybe get some fresh pieces along it, it's like Jason Peters is like 39 and he was drafted, like he were undrafted, but he were in the same year as Ben Roethlisberger. So
he was making some really good throws though, Justin Fields. That game, just solid, just middle of down the middle of the field. Like
his receivers didn't help him, so that could be a better group for him. But
no. Okay. But did you notice how much their O-line was full starting so many times?
That's a trend I've seen from every team this year. Every team's tackles this year just seem to be a half a second faster.
Well, I was thinking
to the point where it just looks like everyone's false starting.
Surely the refs were like thinking, well, we can't just give them penalties every single time here. But we've already given them 11.
It's against a guy that's got the get off that TJ Watt has. You kind of can't do anything but that. He's got the best get off in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Jason, we got a bit. I know we. Sorry, Jason, go for it.
Okay, I just want to just sort of move, but we can touch up on this, as we go along. Just want to do thoughts about the team in general. So I'm just going to go through the games we've played so far. So obviously we're 5-3. Anybody surprised at that?
No,
I had that
about right.
No.
Especially when we went 3-1, I were fearing the worst, but
I was. Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, I said we're going to win 13 games.
1-3, not 3-1.
Yeah.
I said we're going to win 13 games this season. I will be honest with you. I actually thought we might have won one more. But
Bengals.
I reckon. I reckon I'm not far off. I reckon. So realistically, I'm kind of where I thought we would be-ish.
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe like a game here and like, but maybe a win off slightly. But it's quite an interesting time. Like I said, and interestingly, it's where we are at the moment, and we've got a bit of a streak on now. This has been developed because of the O-line gelling, and there's no secret in that. And I'm quite optimistic that we're going to start getting better and better. And yeah, it's not going to be pretty, but I think it's still realistic to get 13.
I think
maybe 12 games, but at a plus 13, and the way we're playing, because we've got so many different weapons and we've got a good defense. If we can keep our O-line healthy, that I've seen.
Try not to overwork Najee. That's the key, because we are using quite a lot.
I'm not happy with the amount we're using the G, to be honest.
You've got to think you've got to. I can see why they're including Snell, because he's special teams. Special teams like contributor.
Yeah,
and then McFarland doesn't give you that, so he's just a running back.
Yeah,
so that's probably why they left him out of the Bears game, because of that. And then you've got Balash, who's kind of similar to Snell. So anything behind is just not really very, very pretty, really.
It's just sort of solid, isn't it? It's not spectacular. It's it's getting 3 yards here and there when you need them.
You know, though, is that not the Steelers' way? Because, like, if you think about it, it's like you know, hard working and stuff like that, just a little bit every single time. We don't have to do flash, just get the job done, don't we? And that's why I think we're starting to see that now.
But I think the offense, I think Ben has sort of realised what he can do now. Whereas I think when we went 1-3, there was still these long bombs and these stupid errand passes that were going on. And especially Monday just gone, they just had the underneath stuff and they were happy to do that. I know obviously the Bears, you know, shut sort of Claypool down and everything else, but I think Ben realises what he can and what he can't do now. And I think that's helped the offense.
But I think that's because of the O-line. I think that's generally because you see the problem with Ben now is what's been established now. He's clearly not as mobile as he was at the start of the season with the O-line still trying to find the feet. Ben had no time. He had to get rid of that ball, otherwise he's going to get battered. And as a consequence of that, I think he had 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in the first 3 games, 3 or 4 games, something like that. And we've actually now had, I think Ben at this moment I could be wrong, so anyone can correct me. I'm pretty certain that Ben's the only quarterback, but he's got 7 games without
intercept.
Yeah.
Did you see that interview?
That's a sign of the O-line. Do you see that? More time.
Do you see that interview with him? It's like saying for the first 3 or 4 games, though, his legs were killing him, like proper, like in like a lot of pain, and so he was having to do a lot more throwing from above. He was saying, so it's like his whole mechanics were off anyway, and he was thinking too much about getting. You know, it's not an excuse, I suppose, to a certain extent, because
his shoulders knackered. He said that the other day. His shoulders.
But he was just saying,
you wouldn't elaborate on it, would he? Because I know in the post-game interview, somebody mentioned about his back and his shoulder. He says, yeah, it's still hurting, but I'm not going to say anything, and then just sort of shut it down. So he's probably got niggles here and there still, so which affects his throwing.
I mean, I've got to be honest, like, as soon as I saw that interview when he was talking about his legs, I was like, right, this is your last season. I can't, you're not going to be having another one after this.
It is last season, though. If you look at him, like, at the end of each game, it's just no matter if he wins and loses, it just seems, he's obviously gutted, like, if he loses, but he's also, when you see his mannerisms on the actual field itself, it's genuinely smiling. And that's someone, to me, who knows this is last season, because it's going up to every single player. He's giving, not just Steelers, any opposition, everything, giving them hugs and all that sort of stuff. And I know that's Ben's always been a bit like that anyway, but he just seems to be a bit more now. I think he's
appreciating it more, isn't
he? He's appreciating exactly, and I think that's what's happening.
You could tell that from the end of the Cleveland game, just like how that
the emotion of
in his face.
Yeah.
Just how he ended and how he was like so appreciative of the fans at the end, waiting around a little bit longer than he would, and just soaking it all in that bit more. You can just tell.
Which is last ride. I said this at the start of the season, and I really hope we do. I don't think we're quite there for Super Bowl as much as I'd love to say that, but I really hope we do make everyone proud without basically just don't fuck up.
Well, you saw this week how inconsistent teams are, especially in the AFC. It's just you cannot
the AFC is completely wide open for anybody to take it.
Yeah, it's just completely.
I mean, the AFC contender in this year's Super Bowl will just be whoever gets hot in December, and who's the healthiest. I mean, the Tennessee somehow won on Sunday without Derrick Henry. If they get him back in the playoffs, they're gonna be ludicrously strong. Yeah. I hate to say it, Baltimore, the way they came back against Minnesota was quite ominous. I hate to say that. Even Cleveland, they bounced back off a tough loss, and we all had Cincinnati penciled in 2 weeks ago, and then they've gone 0-2 since. Cleveland might go on a stinking run. Baltimore might go on a stinking run. You just don't know. It's the most wide open I've ever seen it. It's crazy.
The thing with Baltimore is everyone used to criticize them, saying they've always got to be in the lead to win the game. But now they're just showing that they can be down so many points and still get back and win the games.
He's starting to pass now. His passing games just improved so much this year. And I know, especially this week, the NFL MVP, Lamar Jackson is starting to crop up again now. So they're always going to be around, and they've done it without really any sort of starting running backs. So, credit to them where credit's due, really. So, yeah.
Le'Veon's not a starting running back?
Say again?
Le'Veon Bell's not a starting running back?
In your world, it might be.
Not anymore.
Not in mine.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it was still 2%.
They can't do it without the Steelers. They can't do it without the Steelers. But Alejandro and Le'Veon.
No, not it.
Once you leave us, that's it. You're done. You might win a Super Bowl, but as a player, you're done.
That reminds me. Did you see the one run by Najee, which was very Bell-esque?
Yeah, when he stopped,
where he just went and then just went and then just wouldn't do shit. I think it was his longest run, was it, or something? If I'm right.
Yeah,
But it looked very familiar.
Yeah. Just team wise, I've got a couple of stats which are really interesting. So total first downs. So this is for the season so far. Steelers have got 153, and our opponents have got 153, which I thought was very, very, very interesting. Third down conversions, we've just converted 44 of 110, which is not great. They just stood out for me as I was sort of looking at stuff the other day. So so maybe some improvement there going down the line. So there we are. It's still left us.
Oh,
it's Phil gone.
Yeah,
Phil has gone.
Oh.
I'll get another beer, I think.
Okay. So we can move on to the players if you like. Just got some stats just to start us all off if you like. So Ben at the minute has got 1,986 yards, 10 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions. Interestingly, his yard per attempt is 6.6. I think I could throw further than that, but there we go. Najee Harris has got 541 yards. For all his average is still low. It's sort of like 3.6, but to be expected, I guess. Yeah. Receiving wise, it's pretty spread out. Deontay Johnson's got 45 for 530. Harris has got 40 for 289. Claypool has just got 29 for 433. And actually, the Muth has got 27 for 245. So it's pretty much spread out. I know people have been banging on about production for the receivers, but it has been tough for them, especially they can't get it to them long. So defense wise, tackles, we've got Fitzpatrick on 59. Schobert is on 50. Terrell Edmonds is on 42, as is Craig Haywood. Watt's got 34 and Devon Bush has got 33 sacks. Obviously, TJ Watt's got 11.5. The next one up is Haywood with only 2.5. So a big gap there. Yeah, I know. It's worrying, really. But
oh my God. And there were people on Twitter saying he doesn't deserve the money.
I know. But what can you do? I know. But I mean, people are going to talk about Highsmith and not being as productive as Dupree or whatever, but he's play against the run has just been phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So he's got 1.5, Wormley's got 1.5, and Bush has got 2. Interceptions, we've got 3 on the season, not good. Terrell Edmonds, Pierre. With that one against, was it the Broncos? Yeah. And Haywood's one, which was
Haywood.
hilarious.
Oh,
so there we go.
When it's an interception in each of the last 2 seasons. So he got one against New York in the first game.
That's it. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
the jumping up and
jumping up. Yeah,
felt like it was in the air for ages.
I've got some good news. I've just got this message from Zoom, and they've removed the 40-minute mark. So that's but I still don't want to be here for 3 hours. Okay.
Philip has just messaged you. Just wants to know if you can let him back in, please. He's doing a Fred Flintstone right now outside the Zoom chat, just banging on the door.
Jason. Okay. Yeah. Okay. He's coming back on.
Nice.
Yeah. And thanks for everybody. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. We're all done.
Back in. Back in. I don't know what happened then. Stupid internet. Absolute knobhead.
Ed Flintstone banging on the back door.
I know.
Let me in. Phil, I just said to the lads, I got a message from Zoom. They've removed the 40-minute time, so we can just crack on. So we've just moved on to the players. So we can go through each one if you like. I mean, that we've got a bit more time. We don't have to worry about
anything. That's cool. Excellent.
Yeah. So good. Big Ben. Well, we've touched on him just before now. He's doing a decent job. He's not throwing these stupid passes like he was sort of last year. So just doing what he needs to do. As I said, my personal opinion, I think he sort of realises what he can do and what he's just giving what the defence will give him. So, which is all you can ask for, really. So,
I think he's doing a great job, really. He just needs that protection, and I think he's getting it a little bit more now. And with that, you know what? When you actually look at the stats, they've actually been pretty strong. Not like out of this world, but they are, relative. He's getting a decent quarterback score, and that's all you can ever ask for. He's not going to set the world alight with it, but
no,
like Tom Brady or whatever it might be. You know what I mean? But he's still a brilliant quarterback, so I think it's good.
Yeah, cool. How we feel about Harris?
Brilliant. You know what? The story's not really. Yeah, fantastic player. He's not. The stats don't really tell the full story. Same part as well with that one. Given the O-line, especially at the start of the season, and it's his rookie season, you know what I mean? He's doing an absolutely unbelievable job. Unbelievable.
From since the start of the season all the way through, it's like, and where the O-line was just getting having a bit of a rough patch, getting going, wasn't too much of a concern because like Harris showed what he could do with those like tough yards and just getting those extra points when you think extra yards when you think he's gonna most people would just go down straight away. It's just that ability of just being able to get like the extra 2-3 yards.
I think he's going to turn out sort of like this hybrid of sort of Bell at his sort of prime and Henry. I just think he's got both in the locker. I think
he's got a lot of Bell in him. Just his style of play. I think someone actually said that on the thread, and I know I've said it earlier in the season as well. When he's running in, he stops for us even like a quarter of a second or something like that, just to look and then go in, and that's exactly what Bell did.
Catching ability that Bell had as well. Yeah. He's got that ability to catch out the backfield.
Definitely. And that's what you need.
O-line. So obviously, a bit of a baptism of fire. Some of the comments on, especially the week 1 thread, really sort of peed me off because we was dead last in rushing last year. All of us, obviously, you've got this brand new O-line. Yeah, of course, it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
It's a young one as well.
Give us 25 yards a time.
Very young.
So
the only person we've got that's over 3 years in the league is Trey Turner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All the others are like first and second years pretty much.
Yeah. You forget Dodson's only played.
Second year.
I don't know how many games has he played now, Dodson? About 10.
About half of last season, I think.
Yeah, about half.
It was only 3 last season or something like that. So it's
maybe a bit more.
Starting, I mean.
Yeah. If we can get a quarterback quickly, we've got a lot of confidence in. After Ben goes, we're actually in a ridiculously good position.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I think Kendrick Green's improved massively. Like he's got that trust from Ben, which you need from a center and a quarterback. He's got that trust factor, and he's definitely much improved since the first couple of games of the season.
Yeah, he's
very good. He's very good at run blocking, Kendrick Green, in terms of getting to the second level.
Yeah.
Watching his tape, he's still struggles in pass protection when he gets ball rushed. I think when you're playing 3-4s and playing nose tackles, it's very easy for him just to get put onto his heels, lose his balance, and with Ben,
balance was an issue. Yeah.
Ben being a quarterback where, like the same with Tom Brady, where the last thing Ben wants is to have to roll out. You need a center that can just hold position, and that's one weakness that Kendrick Green has. But then you see some of the runs that we've been sort of hit in the last couple of weeks. And it's like Kendrick Green is in that second level.
Yeah. Do you think that could be down to his height, his arm length, is those kind of like attributes?
I think it's a combination of that and just the fact. I mean, this is only his 7th race game as a pro. And I just think maybe it's a big jump from. I can't remember where he went to college, but that's a big jump from college to pros. Illinois, yeah, it was Illinois, yeah. Just you suddenly got a 340-pound nose tackle who's going to have a step on you because you're a centre and you're having to snap the ball first before you can get in your stance.
Yeah,
it's going to take time, but he has improved massively. I think the O-line in general has, and also I think Matt Canada's play call has massively helped the O-line just to keep things more simple.
Yeah.
We're not pulling guards as much as we were at the start of the season.
You know what's making me laugh about that?
Simplified.
Everyone's slacking off Canada at the start of the season. Like, what's it doing?
There's nothing different.
Yeah. It's awful. This. It's you know what? It is working. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still holes, but we are where we are at the moment, and actually, we're not doing bad with the tools we've got. And it's like it's just all going to take time, and it always was.
It's
different verbiage.
You could see like first few weeks, you could see it was still sort of the embers of last season, if you like.
Oh, it was Fitchner-esque, the play calling. Yeah.
But then, against the Broncos and the Seahawks, you could see a bit of Matt Canada coming out very, very slowly. I think they played it a bit more safe this week, personally, but you can see his personality will come through. And you can only do so much with the personnel you've got. I'm sure if he had, Patrick Mahomes and,
Yeah, I was going to say, I hate to say it, Ben Roethlisberger is the one person that's kind of going to hold Matt Canada's play calling back.
Exactly.
As much as I hate to say it, but you're not going to be able to run 3-9 routes where they can just all because Ben ain't got the arm strength. You can't run option plays because Ben ain't got the legs.
You know what's interesting here though? I wonder if this was deliberate, right? Because you've got Matt Canada in, built for speed. You can tell looking at the O line, it's going to be built for speed. The whole thing is all. We've already seen flashes of this throughout this season. As the games have progressed, and I think you've just hit that nail on the head about it doesn't necessarily suit Ben's style of play, but actually, have the Steelers actually been geniuses? Because if you think about it, what we're doing here is they're building up possibly the most important element of the entire offense, which is the offensive line, because then
they're doing it the right way around.
Yeah. And then what they'll do is when they've got that right, they'll slot a quarterback in.
Exactly.
And you've got somebody with the experience at the moment, which is Ben, who's dealing with, in effect, a rebuild of the offense. Yeah. And Ben, with his knowledge, is crucial for that. It might not suit his style, but he's going to be behind the scenes and he's going to be going, right, do this. And I can guarantee that if we get the right quarterback in, as I've said before, we're going to be we're going to be laughing our absolute tits off.
We get the Steelers get criticised for this, that they haven't got a succession plan for Ben. But we've got, other teams don't get criticised that they get a round one QB and then have a crappy O-line. It's like
no point.
No point, because it just kills them. You can see how many teams have just killed.
Look at the Chiefs
in the past.
right now. Look at the Chiefs now. Right now, they're falling to bits. I'm not saying this is necessarily
the mortgage
elements, but the mortgage left, right, and centre, right, and it just proves that as good as he actually is, Mahomes is amazing. But at the end of the day, you can only be as good as the team.
Yeah.
Well, the Mahomes situation.
So they're doing the right way actually here.
With Patrick Mahomes, he was still in his rookie contract when they were winning big, the Super Bowl run and everything like that. So you've got the money, you've got the cap to have an O-line, to have a defense that's strong.
When they won the Super Bowl against the 49ers, the two tackles were arguably at the peak of their thing. Mitchell Schwartz was a rock at right tackle.
Fisher was great at left.
Coming into his own at left. It was much improved from his first couple of years. He exposed how crucial those guys are in the Super Bowl against Tampa, because you saw
running for his life.
Yeah.
But this is the thing about the situation with a new quarterback. I would rather have an O-line that has had a year to communicate, that can read blitzes, that can diagnose things that a quarterback might not see. as a rookie, rather than say what the Jets are doing, where you just throw a Zach Wilson into the fire, or the Jaguars just throwing a Trevor Lawrence into the fire and going, learn on the job. That's fine until they get hurt. And you just putting
like what happened with the Colts and Andrew Luck.
Yeah,
like the most polished prospect of all time, probably since John
Elway just see ghosts.
Ruined him because they didn't have a plan at O-line. The most crucial thing on offense.
Exactly.
And this is interesting and maybe controversial because I'm not the biggest fan. I'd like to see Haskins do something, but we'll just see how that goes. I wonder why this has kept Rudolph in, because Rudolph knows the playbook. I genuinely thought he was going to be gone, at the start of the season, but obviously they must know something in, like practices and stuff like that with Rudolph. And I'm wondering if this is what we're doing now. They're getting someone with experience, as in like Ben, to build this O-line, get everything in place, or at least give his input as an experienced quarterback. And because the problem with Rudolph was his arm wasn't that bad. Well, it wasn't brilliant, but the thing is it's not very good, like getting out of the pocket and stuff like that. And
he doesn't see pressure.
Yeah, exactly. But if you've got a decent O-line, I
think he's built for Haskins if they're going to go with anybody.
Yeah, I hope so. I want to see him play. Yeah. I want to see Haskins go.
I can only see Rudolph
if they do go quarterback in. I don't want to go too much into the draft.
The quarterback class is not as good as.
It's very weak.
I think I'll get somebody, but I think it's Haskins is to lose. And I think at the moment he's just learning the system, ready for next year. That's my take on it.
There's no one good from the big programs. Like the best two are from Liberty and Ole Miss. The Matt Corral and what's his name from Liberty? Can't remember. But anyway, there's all the great QBs from the big programs have all come into the NFL, like Tua, Trevor, people like that.
Yeah. But I mean.
Yeah, the Steelers said they wanted to go for someone like a veteran, didn't they?
I've seen Aaron Rodgers being thrown about that. I cannot see that, especially with the money that he'll probably be asking.
Yeah,
and the situation at the moment. But anyway, we'll not get into that. Pandora's box.
Yeah. No,
I wouldn't be surprised if he turned up. Wouldn't surprise me. Really wouldn't.
If I'm honest,
the team's there then.
I just don't think we're going to get a quarterback next year. I think we've got two capable. Do you reckon? I mean, I think I genuinely believe that 1 and 2. I don't know who's going to be in. I'm hoping it's Haskins, but we'll just see how it goes. Just because we know how Rudolph plays. We've seen him in action. We haven't really seen Haskins yet, so I want to see how he plays.
And we've seen how Haskins can do in a spread style offense. I know it's Ohio State and Ohio State quarterbacks not necessarily do as well, but I think nowadays it's the best time ever to get an Ohio State quarterback because they've experienced in a spread style offense, which is creeping more and more into the NFL. Yeah, such as in Matt Canada's offense.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see, definitely. So we already might have our next franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I'd like to see how Dwayne Haskins does because he was kind of left out to dry in Washington.
Yeah, he had no chance.
He didn't help. He did not help himself though.
Yeah, he did. I'm not saying that. Yeah, he definitely didn't help himself with some of the stuff that he did.
He's not blameless.
No. And also when you watch his game tape back from the couple of years he was in Washington, he was still making day one rookie mistakes even in year two.
Yeah.
His mechanics were still not fantastic. He was still trying to force balls in the coverage, and you think, okay, maybe there's a reason why he's not being put in just yet. Maybe we're trying to just get those habits out of him first before, we kind of complete. And to be fair, if it doesn't work out with Dwayne Haskins, so be it. We got him for pennies. It was not. There was no risk in picking him up. So I'm with you. I'd like to. No, but I would regret not at least putting him in and giving him a chance to fight for the start next year.
Yeah, even if towards the end of the season, if Ben sits out a game, bear in mind it's 17 games this year. You know what I mean? I'll be definitely inclined at least doing what we did 19. Maybe just do a sort of dual quarterback threat or something like that. At least
it's kind of what the Saints are doing, isn't it? With they were doing before. What's his name's gone out? mixing it between them, wasn't it? And him and
Taysom Hill and Jameis.
Taysom Hill and Jameis
Taysom
Winston.
and Jameis, yeah, mixing it up between them.
And that could be the other way forward for the NFL. Why do you always have to have one? I know it's like one quarterback who's on it. Why can't you have a dual threat? You're gonna limit your injuries. You might have quarterbacks that are like
catches defense off guard. Like you see what happens with running backs, like going back to the Saints, what they did with Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, just change of pace, go with a pocket passer, and then bring in a guy who can run.
Yeah.
That's why I was like really like looking forward to seeing like what the 49ers did this season, but look, it's really tailing off because of the Trey Lance, Garoppolo kind of effects that they were doing in pre-season, where it's like swapping them around. That was so exciting, but then
and then they kind of did it.
Kind of got off a hill because
against Detroit, but then they kind of left that alone.
Yeah. So it's it depends.
It's going to be interesting.
I mean, the Cowboys tried this in the 70s and it didn't work.
No,
it's one of those things where I think very different game, but I think teams try this whole 2 QB system element, and I just think a rhythm is so important as a quarterback. Imagine you complete a pass. If you're Jimmy Garoppolo, you complete a beautiful 20-yard pass. In between a linebacker and safety, and then Kyle Shanahan goes, "Okay, we're now going to go Eagle personnel. Come out. We're going to put Trey in."
Yeah,
I'd be furious. I'd be absolutely furious if I was.
Yeah, that's a valid point. To be fair, I was just kind of thinking, like you said, like how you could do. But we need to get them 2 quarterbacks in real NFL in an NFL situation. We need to get Haskins to. It's annoying that it's not suited up. I understand why it's not suited up because the roster and all that sort of stuff, but. We've got to get him to see at least a few snaps game time. We need to see what it's like in a proper pressure cooker, really, because we need to see that before we can start making that decision for next year. Because that's what it's all about. It's building up for next year. We're not going to get anywhere really until we can get our next quarterback, and that's the key now. But we have to do it right.
Cool. Yeah. Just want to touch on Dan Moore. I think he's going to be special. This guy. Really do. I know he struggled, and but I thought he played Garrett really well. Garrett didn't change the game in any way, and I think that's all you could ask for in that situation. So
he held his own, didn't he?
Yeah. And like I said, he has they all struggled at the start, but again, he's finding his feet, and he's probably the best tackle on the team at the minute. So, but
he struggled against the Bears, though, didn't he?
A little bit, yeah. He regressed a little bit, as did Green, I think. So,
Robert Quinn had his number, but it was like. Yeah. But the thing is, now they're gelling so much as a team, and it's such a team effort with the O-line that mixing up now with, say, like Banner, shifting Shooks over. I mean, that's a lot of disruption.
Yeah,
and is it necessary? It really. I think you've just got to keep going with this same unit.
I
agree
until you don't.
I'm just going to look into the camera.
Yeah.
And I'm going to speak to Zach Banner. Okay.
I'm sure he's watching.
Zach, what the fuck are you doing? Do you suffer from like dysentery before a game and you just shit yourself and you decide not to come out because all the shit's just running down your yellow pads and it's pretty embarrassing? What is wrong with you? Why don't you play? Rant over. Just what?
Unseen.
There's just nothing. All we get is inactive Banner. What is wrong with him?
That's fantastic. No, but I mean, that's it, isn't it? I mean, what is wrong with him?
The fuck?
I wonder if it. God knows.
I mean, he can only play one position, can't he? So he can't be. He's not a swing tackle. So he doesn't play two positions.
He's not a tackle.
He can only be a right tackle.
No.
Don't know. Just get rid, man.
I'm getting Senquez Golson vibes off of him.
You know what I mean? Jesus.
Yeah.
Just get rid. He doesn't want to play. Gee, Mac. Right, that's it. Done. Rant over. Right, let's go to our flavour of the month so far with tight ends. So I think the Muth, as he's now known, I think he's tight end number one.
You know what?
Yeah,
100%. No question.
His stats. I've read an article about him actually today. His stats are not actually that impressive, but
no,
he's come up with good.
But I'll tell you something. He's another one, just like Harris. What an absolute belter of a player have we got with him.
Clutch moments, isn't it?
That's all you need.
Would you say he's got the best hands on the team?
Target.
Yeah,
no doubt.
He's really shifty for a tight end. His footwork's amazing.
See, people compare him to
Heath
Miller.
It's brilliant. Yeah,
but he's so much more athletic than Miller was.
He's better. I'm not going to say he's better than Heath Miller yet.
Not yet,
because he's only 8 games in. But his ceiling is.
How are you saying that? It's his first season.
Heath Miller was a fabulous red zone tight end. He was if you were 3rd and 5, you were like, right, where's 83 at?
Reliable, yeah. But he's like, I think
his run blocking is sensational.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
I love him.
I love him.
I couldn't ask him when we drafted him.
Yeah,
but he's just proved us all wrong.
Yeah,
there's that move with like the sweep with Claypool, and he just pushed him right. That was an amazing. And just wouldn't stop.
Yeah,
and Claypool got about 5 yards from that, and it was just,
from the first game of the season. He had a block on a similar run, a sweep run, where he drove. I think it was Carlos. I think it was Micah Hyde. He drew him out of the building. Like he went out of Ralph Wilson Stadium into the Hudson River and all the way to Canada. He blocked him that far.
Carried on and kept on going.
He bumped into Zach Banner having a shit in a field.
Zach Banner's that's probably why he's not, because he's like, oh, that's what I've got to do. Oh no, I'm not playing.
Oh no,
it's impressive.
He's phenomenal. Honestly, I could rant about how good Pat Fromouth is for days.
He's our next superstar along with Harris. What's obviously already an established superstar, but like I genuinely I feel so strongly for this rookie class. I think it's been absolutely so far spectacular.
It's solid. What's scary is that because obviously pre-draft, we looked at tight ends and stuff, and the one slot against him was his run blocking. Look at him now; he's just
insane.
There's nothing wrong with that.
He's just
What did anyone know? You know what I mean? I mean, clearly he's just absolutely smashing it out of the park, and all I'm going to say is keep going.
It's impressive because he's not a solid-bodied kind of really chunky guy. He's quite slender, really.
Yeah,
but he's
the new breed, isn't he?
It's technique.
Modern tight ends are like when
technique, Callum. Yeah.
I mean, Shannon Sharp came into the league and he was the same. He was so small. He wasn't considered a typical tight end build, but tight ends are getting smaller and smaller now.
Yeah, niftier. Yeah.
You see how dominant Travis Kelce is. He's not exactly a big chunk.
No.
Tight end. He's a big receiver. That's how the league is going in terms of positions like the tight end, linebackers. Like
you have your old sort of Matt Spaeth, 280-pound bricks basically that if they're in the game, okay, they're running the ball in this direction kind of thing. Freiermuth will do his run blocking on the move because he doesn't have, but when he gets going, if he gets into that second level, I pity any secondary player who wants to take on his blocking because
it's a weapon. It's an absolute. It's a full-on weapon, and the thing is, you don't know where he's going to explode. Because it's so clutch, but and it doesn't have to do anything. It's fantastic, and the thing is, it's when it counts, and that's the key there. Because it can have a quiet game. You can see it, and it's going to happen. It's like I've not seen him all game. I mean, all of a sudden it's like just catch something, or he'll do a crucial. He'll just knock the shit out of someone or something like that, and it's one of those rare players that can literally change the game.
I've got to admit, twice. When we got him in the draft, I was like thinking, "Oh, really?" I was. You saw his tape, and you thought it's not. Wow. It's okay, but there's nothing.
I think
really
it was second round. I think people was like,
yeah.
He was
when everyone was thinking all line, and then you.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a confession.
Obviously, Colbert and Tomlin saw something.
I'll put my hands up, guys. I hated our draft. I hated it so much. I when we drafted Najee, I thought we are stupid. We think we're win now mode. We think Najee's the last piece of the puzzle. Then when we drafted Freiermuth, I'm thinking we're even more stupid. And they've both just been the I'm happy to say they've shut me up because they're both.
You could argue they're the two best offensive players.
100%.
He's happy.
Over DJ, over Claypool.
Is that right? You've got your approval. We're good.
Someone let him know I'm happy.
He said, nice one. Now piss off, he's having his chips.
Got USC on the phone.
Yeah. That's great. That.
Also, Gentry, I'm glad finally after 25 years he's actually made the first team, and so obviously we all criticise about these players that sort of go in the practice squad and come back out again, but professional coaches know what they're doing, so obviously they.
What do you mean? We're not professional coaches.
We're all
coaches.
We are all
coaches.
If you look at the game thread, we're all coaches. We all know what to do. Tommy and
armchair OT.
So I think Ben and sort of Ebron can sort of hold hands as they exit Heinz Field next year. I think.
Yeah. The writing's on the wall with Ebron, isn't it? Really? Yes, now
it is. But he still scored my favourite touchdown of the year so far because that just made me.
that tight end jet sweep.
Yeah, his rushing
tight end jet sweep.
Yeah. The only
Randy Fitchner is watching that. Randy Fitchner's watching a tight end jet sweep and going, "What is this? What are you doing?"
Revolutionary. He weren't on my team.
Hey, he's looking at play action, saying, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah. No, he's about 15 seconds behind the play because he doesn't know where the ball is.
Run, pass.
Run, pass. Oh.
Who's been a star of the show?
Chris Boswell.
Apart from Boswell, I'm telling you, I love him. I love Boswell. I was just saying before we signed up, I want to get a Boswell jersey. I'm going to look into that. But definitely, he's been a massively. He's not underrated because we always say it in the game threads. He's been like the biggest impact player this year, apart from what? Cameron Hayward.
Yeah,
he has had a season this year. Every single game, he has absolutely turned up. And
he's the second best defensive tackle in the league now.
Yeah.
There's no shame in being the second best, considering who is the best defensive tackle.
Considering who's number one,
there's no shame in being no.
God's been picking, isn't it? But absolutely unbelievable. The way he's been playing, he's been when Watt was like a little bit injured, he stepped up ridiculously, and he's not slowed down. It's like, does this guy ever stop? I mean, how old is he now? What is it, 28, 30?
He's
something like that, yeah.
He must be in his early 30s.
He'll be in his 30s.
But he's been spectacular. He's playing like he's playing like a veteran with a young body.
32.
Do you know what he's doing? He's leading by example because Tuitt isn't there. So he's really the only name on that line at the moment, and he is just led by example. And
no doubt,
proper leader.
I mean, Wormley isn't great, but at least he's doing better than he was last year. He's serviceable at the minute. Lademilk's done really well when he's come in. So, and
but the impact Cam will have on the on that line to play better and to inspire. That's the thing.
Agreed. He's been one of my star players of this year, and I don't think he'll ever get like an MVP. A game day MVP.
Probably.
I mean, it's a shame, really. But I think what he's doing is probably bigger in some respect than the majority of the players. It's like nearly every play is there. You know what I mean? It's just absolutely. I love watching him play this year.
He comes across as a sort of player who, if you're just watching the game as a stat sheet, or if you're just watching the game kind of half-assed, you think, oh, who's this guy? But then you actually watch it properly. You study his tape. He's a game wrecker. He's as good as TJ Watt. He's really
breaking it, blocking up the gaps. Yep. So game
fabulous.
His hands are just incredibly quick.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you. So yay!
I encourage
love you, pal. We do love you. No one else might.
I encourage anyone to watch the the NFL films of him, like the game sessions.
Yes, yeah.
And his little book, and writing down all the different things like what he learns and stuff. But like when he goes through his plays, he's like, you just know he's just so on it. Wow. So fascinating to watch.
You got a lot from his dad. You can just tell, can't you? Like,
his physicality and mentality is.
Yeah, he's a Steeler. He's just got that Steeler.
Yeah, he's got that grit, determination, and
yeah.
He's just Steeler through and through, isn't he? So,
yeah,
absolutely. Just what we've always sort of bred, really. Linebackers, obviously TJ Watt. Just.
Do we need to mention him?
No,
overrated.
We paid him. He does something each week. Blah blah blah. Devon Bush.
I think people have been a bit too harsh on him because
a little bit.
Because
I just don't like him. I just don't like him. I want to not. I want to hate him.
Have you been reading Twitter again?
No, it's I don't know what it is about him. It's look. It does show signs of being decent, and I agree we are being too harsh, but I think we're expecting too much of him. But I want him to do more.
He's definitely not. He's definitely not the green dot guy that they wanted him to be at the start of last season.
He's not Devin White, who everybody sort of compared the two.
Sideline to sideline.
Yeah. But he's got the athletic speed and everything like that, but his game now, I don't think. There's times where he feels lost.
Yeah, he overruns a lot of plays as well, which I've.
Well, the Duke
he's
Johnson.
He's a bit undersized to be an in the box
run
stopper, but he's a bit too slow in coverage, dropping back into his own. So he's not really fitting into either of those boxes, and he's not really a sideline linebacker like Devin White is for the Bucs.
But again, he's got lack of games as well. So I mean, he got injured early last year,
and he's coming back off of ACL.
I genuinely think the ACL tear is it. I think that there are some players that can come back from an ACL tear and they're just
look at Bud Dupree. And you can put it down to that. I'm sure.
I don't just want to say it is just injuries because I mean, like when the Browns scored the touchdown a few weeks back, and that was on Devin Bush. I hate to say it, but just took a terrible angle, and that's not an ACL tear. That's just that's just poor. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that. Yeah.
Well, it's just whether he learns from that. With games under his belt. So Schobert, I think he's done well.
He's a solid tackler. We saw him twice a year when he were at Cleveland, and we saw how important he was to that defense, and he has been solid for us.
I think he's someone who's just going to fill the gap. But I think he's solid, and I think that's the best way to really describe it. Really.
You won't cost you anything.
Yeah.
No.
And I know we touched on Highsmith very sort of quickly before. Just phenomenal against the run. I know he's stats.
I'm liking him. To be honest,
he's a great complimentary piece to TJ.
Yeah.
Which is the easiest way to be forgotten about, sadly. Where you say he's a great run stopper.
When you've got a player like him on the other side of you, you're easily going to be forgotten.
If you're good at stopping the run and you're a good sort of accommodating player, then that means you don't get paid and you don't get any attention. I hate to say it, but he's a very good player.
Yeah. Secondary, I think they've got on very.
I think Joe Hayden's had a really good year.
Hayden's been great. Hayden's been great.
I hate him. It'd be a shame to see him go. I understand. He might not even go yet. It's likely that he will because age is a factor and stuff like that. But I think he's proven his worth. I'd like to see him, even if yearly contracts or something like that. I don't know if he'll go with that. But I'd like to see this happening because I think he's proven that he's actually quite valuable. And it's whether I do get that they're going to regress quite quickly, especially in that kind of position or whatever it might be. But he's not slowing down really. He's doing what he needs to do, and actually that's kind of what we want at the moment. We need the experience and stuff, and actually I'll be well happy to keep him for another year.
It was just that the game against the Bills in week 1, it just gave me a massive false sense of security because I thought Cameron Sutton was just like the new
Sutton was everywhere.
Yeah, he's come up with flash plays, but he's also let quite a few go over his head.
Oh, yeah. It was just that first game. I thought, it's fixed. Brilliant. Let's go. Obviously, that isn't the case. But again, you've got that sort of lack of quality. But Morlet's done really well. Well impressed with him. Pierre's done well
as well.
Yeah, Pierre's done well. So obviously you've got your safeties. So Fitzpatrick, we touched on him earlier, and he hasn't got the 17 interceptions so far this season, but he's been solid, and he's sort of led by example. Edmonds has been really good. Really impressed with Edmonds.
Yeah, I'd be quite surprised by him, actually. I weren't expecting much out of him.
I think he's improved. Yeah.
Again, he's a bit of a Haywood, isn't he? He sort of just gets on with it, doesn't sort of
solid tackler.
Dependable. Trey Norwood, wow, just whoever scouted
amazing.
Him did a fucking great job. An absolute great
seventh round, was he?
7th round.
Yeah, something like that. Like
that is ridiculous.
I thought we weren't good at drafting DBs, but then Trey Ward has just is incredible. How do you pick a player of that quality out in the 7th round? Where
Tom Brady was in the 7th round.
I know exactly.
A bit of luck.
Yeah.
Also,
find the right player.
You evaluate these players, and I know he came off knee surgery, I think, in college.
Yeah.
So they banged on about that as well. So, but the thing is that they haven't sort of fed him to the Lions. Excuse the pun for this weekend. They've spelt him right as well. I think they've brought him in them good situations where he can really sort of flourish and learn. But again, he could just be an absolute steal for years to come. Really good.
Oh, yeah.
Could be, yeah. Definitely.
Really good.
Yeah.
Just to think, what's your views on Washington?
What is it with you in Washington? Well,
I love him. I love him, but he frustrates the shit out of me.
Because I mean, when Schuster went down, you think, okay, Washington's going to get a bit more.
But
he's not getting the snaps, is he?
No.
What's going on with him? Because I like seeing him on the field.
Because with Juju out, surely he gets more chance than he has done, but he just hasn't been getting them.
No. And it's really annoying me. It's annoying me because I'm liking what I'm seeing, but I'm not seeing enough to see.
Is he not getting open enough? Is it?
This is the thing. Is it something to do with the way Ben plays? I don't know. Frymouth is his sort of safety valve now, isn't he? And he's sort of underneath guy and whatever.
The one thing I'd say about that is that at the moment our receivers are not helped by the fact that we just don't have enough time to get them open.
Exactly.
You're having to rely on like Chase Claypool was another one where I've not seen Claypool catch. You said before he had something like 25 receptions.
Yeah.
Not one of them has been uncontested. They've all been 50-50, or it seems like every one is a 50-50 catch in traffic, just because we don't have the time to get to get in the ball.
You could argue that then James Washington isn't the best at separation. And that's accentuated by the time, the 2 second get the ball out kind of thing. Yeah. You need to get separation so quickly.
He did get some chances towards the end where he has shown that he's got great hands and he's got good physicality about him.
I like Washington.
Probably not the fastest, and he probably don't get the separation that the likes of Deontay gets, but he's shown that he can catch in traffic. And for a receiver, that's probably more important than getting separation, so that he can be trusted even when a guy's covering you or when you've got guys around you in the zones.
He used to get loads of deep balls as well, like back in the
when Rudolph was quarterback, he got loads of the deep balls.
Yeah, but then
that kind of goes back to their chemistry when they were at
Oklahoma State. Yeah.
But then you could say Ben's not doing the big deep balls anymore. So that's probably the reason why.
Yeah, exactly.
So it could be
combination. I get that. I think, it just could be a system thing. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I can't. But then again, I'm not the coach.
But Haskins could come in next year and have an absolute great relationship with him. You just don't.
You just don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, Callum.
Yes.
Special teams, go.
Yay.
Obviously, Chris Boswell's been incredible. Like two 2 game winners. He's come up important, and he's shown what we already know, but he's shown to a wider that he's got the leg to make it from distance as well.
Yeah.
Big fan of him. Can't argue with
Yeah.
him at all.
Oh,
Big fan of him.
Just dependable.
Obviously, he's another one of those players where he's probably the number 2 guy, but you don't mind that when you recognise that who is the number 1 guy in the league.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, that other guy is in our division. I think Presley Harvin with the way that we drafted him in the 6th.
No, mate. There's only one number 6. He seems to think that because he's got a big leg, he can get away with anything, but he slices too many kicks. Yeah. I've seen I posted a thing today, like with the technique that he has, but obviously in a short range that probably helps when he's trying to pin a guy deep. But he also does it in the standard punts where he just wants to get as far as possible, which it doesn't seem right. Like the ball is when he drops it is so like straight down.
Yeah,
it just doesn't seem right to me. Like maybe like get one of the kicking coach to try and work with him on that. Obviously, it's his technique where he's probably done since high school, but
I think if he could be more consistent, because his directional punting is really good.
But when you're on your 35 or 40 and you just want a guy to get on the other side of the field and try and flip field position, he hasn't shown that. His slice kicks there's been a couple of 20-yard punts where you're just racking your brain like, what was the thinking? Like why how come he sliced it so badly?
A bit more consistency, but
still a rook.
Got great.
Give him time.
He's a rookie, so
exactly.
Again, he's a rookie. Yeah,
and I wouldn't argue with him anyway.
Obviously, we moaned about Jordan Berry for so long.
Yeah.
So at least
kind of worse.
Let's give him.
Yeah.
We'll say special teams coverage has been excellent.
Yeah,
I will say that. Very, very good.
Absolute phenomenal.
Killebrew has been fantastic.
Berry's been met on returns. Like he's leaking into a bit of the Ryan Switzer in the returning.
That last game, I don't know what he was doing. He was literally just go to the side, and then he goes, "No, I'm going to go here in front of the guy, and then I'm going to do that, and then twist and get my feet locked." And he was like,
the most important thing, like with anything, is ball security. Like, what was he thinking when? I know, also sometimes you can't.
It was twisted round, wasn't it?
He was pinning his the ball against his side like that. Like, what was?
Yeah, the bad decision came straight away when he thought, "I'm just going to put my head into this guy." For some reason, I was like, he just lost all his balance, didn't he?
Yeah,
he tried to twist round.
I can't believe that Mike Tomlin hasn't said protect the ball at all costs. For F's sakes, we're still up by 7 here.
Well, he's with a special teams coordinator with as much experience as Danny Smith, I think he's called.
Yeah, absolutely.
With as much experience as him, I'm surprised he hasn't taught into Ray ball security at all costs.
No.
He's even lost his sort of flair factor, because I think, last year he had that sort of flashes of him actually doing something on returns.
Yeah.
Whereas, like Callum said, I think he's gone a bit of a switch. So he's sort of like, I'll take this gap here, and that's about it, and I'm going down. So he's sort of lost his flair a bit as well.
Is it Steve Smith?
I won't be sad if you went.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's mainly because I think we've been spoiled when we had like Antonio Brown for so long.
That's it.
Kicks and punts. Like it was just unstoppable in open space when it was at his peak. I think we've just been spoiled.
Yeah. I just wanted to kick a brain, to be fair. That's all I want. Well, that might be taunting.
No
who
punters
knows?
were hurt in the making video.
Okay. So where are we? 1 hour 15. So rest of the season, I'll just go through them if you like. So obviously this Sunday we've got Detroit.
Trap game.
Massive trap game.
Into overtime, whatever. Then we're at the Chargers.
Boswell 63-yard field goal.
Yeah. And then we're at the Chargers the week after. Then we're at the Bengals. Then we've got Baltimore at the Vikings.
We've got such a hard schedule coming up now.
This is just horrible.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Kansas City, Cleveland on Monday night, and we finish up at Baltimore.
Christ,
horrible.
Cleveland,
actually
Kansas
horrible.
City, Baltimore, and especially if Kansas City try and find a formula and they get hot down.
And
the
they will do. Of course they will.
Absolutely, they will. 100%.
Yeah.
I maintain I'm not on the Kansas City a done bandwagon in any way, shape, or form.
I don't think
anyone who thinks that is
with a team with that much talent, you can never.
No.
You can never.
Absolutely.
But something's still not right, and they're still not sorted.
Like I said, Tampa Bay
early on in season, it's complacency. That's what I saw
in their game plan. And once the NFL gets a grip of that, of what to do, it's just there week in, week out. So I've actually got to beat the Titans
gimmicks,
because I think the Titans, if they go up against another physical team, so people are saying the Titans are sort of like the old Steelers, if you like. So I think we can take those. I think we can do 10. I've still got us down as 9 and 8.
It's like the early days of them when we had Jerome Bettis and when we had that. Like, it's very much like that. Like let the running back pound ball and then we'll put him over the top with the play action.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
The key will be whether they have Henry or not. And it looks like they won't for that game, but then they can still beat. They can still win without him.
Adrian Peterson. I know he's 36, but I think he showed that he's still got something left in the tank.
36 as well. Jesus.
That's just insane.
For a running back, that's crazy, isn't it?
I know.
Somebody pulled up a stat that when he entered the league, Patrick Surtain was in the league, and now he's still, that's how long he's been in the league. It's just ridiculous. It made me feel old as well, to be fair. So
I mean, he was another one that was just like another out of his world. It was just
first ballot Hall of Famer, no question.
When I saw him in Wembley, he was just running around us. He's just giving the ball, and that's it. He's off, and that appreciation for a player just seeing that is greatness, basically. And like you said, he's amazing. He's 36, and he's not going to set the world alight, but he's 36 and he's still playing. That shows how talented he actually is. You know what I mean? And it's like it just shows really.
I think in that game he became the 11th running back to rush for 125 touchdowns. That was just ridiculous. Like to keep going for so long.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's up there with the greats. He's up there with the greatest position, and there's obviously lots of great running backs through history.
Yeah. And he's the only running back from this generation I can think of where, and Henry is the one now, but going back to that early 2010s, he was the only running back I can think of that was an offense. The Vikings would have been 4-12 without Adrian Peterson. They made the playoffs.
Quarterback. It was
Josh Freeman
in the first round.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Josh Freeman, and then I think Matt Castle. So I mean, if they got to the playoffs with Josh Freeman and Matt Castle and Christian Ponder, that says everything.
Ponder, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Oh, I'm better thinking about.
But the schedule though, looking at it, is just sick.
It's very difficult.
I'm still sticking with 10-7. I think we can.
10-7. Is that what you said? I still think we can beat anyone in a day. And that, I don't know if that's been. I mean, end of the day, right? We might be a dodgy tampon at the moment, but we still do the job.
Yeah.
I've said that on TV.
Is this a northern expression that
I've just made it up.
I've never heard it before, so no.
Oh, thank God for that.
It's just a Phil expression.
Yeah, it's Phil's world.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah.
But I mean, looking at it, I mean, it is ridiculous. I mean, Chargers are going to be an half one, but I can't think of other Chargers.
Yeah,
they have struggles. They have struggles. I mean, New England beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, Philly gave them as good as they had. I don't think they're as good as. Again, it's on the day. I don't
shut them down
completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's going to be crucial here compared to like previous seasons? When you actually look at how tight the AFC North is at the moment, the last 2 games we've got are actually with relatively good teams. Well, I mean, the Ravens are a very good team.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, not actually. I mean, the thing is if Jackson goes down, that's it, it's shit. but at the end of the day, he's not.
Yeah, but that's with any team though. Like any team, well, a lot of teams,
but
you lose the quarterback.
But it's not just a quarterback, is it? It gets the yards in as well.
He
so
accounts
that's a difference.
for. There's a statistic out that came out the other day. I think he counts for
it was like 81%
of their yards.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
Yeah,
like how many, and
so if he goes down, Ravens are finished. But
100%.
That's it. But the thing is with Browns, they're still quite a dangerous team. I mean, did you see him on West the Bengals? They absolutely demolished them.
New lease of life without OBJ, isn't it?
Yeah, and the thing is, when you think that,
that's the question: where the hell's he going?
Yeah, I mean they're the division.
Don't care.
They're obviously in our division, and then you've got your
overrated.
He likes being shat on. So let's just that guy can just go to the gutter for like connect rank.
I don't think the Browns didn't beat the Bengals because they didn't have OBJ, and now they're unified again. They won that game because Joe Burrow did a bad job of protecting the ball. They drove down the field to start the game. They had a second goal pretty much on the 1 yard line, and Burrow throws a duck that's always that gets picked, goes for 6, and I just don't think they got back into the game after that. I just don't. I think if that goes,
the Browns cornerback, Greg Newsom from Northwestern, he looked really good.
Yeah,
he had a great game.
Yeah.
I mentioned he's on
he could cause some problems in the next few years for us.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Yeah,
our division, it's been quite stale for the last few years. While the teams all 4 teams have been kind of trying to find their feet. I mean, even us last year, I know we did a really good stretch at one point, but we were never really a good team.
Oh no, couldn't get the running game started.
Yeah, and that's a massive thing. We were just lucky for several of them games, and now the AFC North is lethal. It's probably the hardest. It's probably when you look at
it is. Yeah,
it's absolutely lethal. It's probably the hardest. I mean, we're playing it. We've got the hardest schedule in the NFL. I'll probably still say we have. But now looking at how hard our actual division is as well,
I mean, you've got the AFC West.
I was going to say AFC West. If you look at them compared
to the AFC West, and we've got the AFC West.
It's almost a carbon copy of points with us in the AFC West.
Well, yeah, I'm actually Chargers 5-3, 5-3 for Raiders. This year, I fucking hate the Raiders. 5-4 Chiefs, 5-4 Broncos. I mean, that's insane too.
A Broncos team that just went to Dallas and just stomped all over them.
I
mean,
it's completely wide open. There's going to be a lot of stressful.
One loss,
games.
It can change the entire division.
One of us is going to die of a heart attack before the end of the season.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the case.
Look at the Bengals 2 weeks ago. They were seeded number 1, and they're the bottom of the AFC North.
And that proves the point. Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, the one thing that's a positive with all this, and this is not necessarily relevant, but as soon as I just thought I'd mention it because I really can't wait to see this happen. As soon as Tom Brady leaves, the Buccaneers, that team is going to be fucked.
You're obsessed with the Buccaneers being shit afterwards.
No,
I disagree. I disagree with you, Philip.
No chance. I've seen them all. They're all about 75. Yeah, so I mean, like at least we're doing like each little bit like properly. They're going to lose like literally all the team because they'll all be dead.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They're kicking the tires in a few of them, isn't they?
Yeah,
but they might have 2 Super Bowls on the back of it.
Yeah,
it is a win now kind of.
The Rams haven't got a first round pick until like 2024, and
they don't need him.
They don't need a first round pick. Like 8 years.
I'll agree with that theory that's the good way of that's a good game plan once they win a Super Bowl.
It's a great strategy.
They do,
It's a great strategy so long as nobody else does it. If you're the only team that does it, you're laughing because then they drafted Jared Goff with their first pick and went, oh, that didn't work out. Right, we're not doing that again. Any first pick, and also you got to remember,
said, "Fuck them picks."
The thing is, yes, they're trading away first round picks, but they're not 5th, 6th in the draft. They're not 7th. They're 31st. So it's not that high a value. I think people get obsessed with the idea of, oh my god, it's a first round pick. This is a really high value.
When they picked Jared Goff, they weren't even really a bad team. They were a 7-9 team and traded up.
Yeah,
they traded up, and they literally cost almost everything to trade up to the number 1 to pick who they thought were their franchise quarterback in Jared Goff.
You can have the wrong You can have a crap player in the right team that'll make that player fantastic.
Yep. Well,
you don't necessarily need superstars. You don't necessarily
need. McVay's system made helping flourish.
Exactly.
Literally,
exactly.
It was in his ear all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the Rams now, that they're 7-2, Cardinals 8-1. That's a lot. That's a big risk when you're all in for a Super Bowl for the Rams, isn't it?
Yeah.
When they're not even leading their division.
Talking of the Cardinals, how bloody good's James Conner looking?
Amazing. You know what? Fair play to him. I've not got a bad word to say about him. I'm glad he still went.
Great story as well.
Great story. Yeah.
From a neutral perspective, I would have, provided the Steelers are not in the Super Bowl, I'd have no problems with the Cardinals coming away with it.
Yeah.
As a franchise, they've always been that kind of bridesmaid. They've never had any kind of a success. They've had one Super Bowl appearance, which obviously, we ruined. If JJ Watt comes back, he gets a ring. Delight for him. Cliff Kingsbury gets to put to bed the whole can't make it in the NFL rumors or anything like that. And James Conner, it would be. I don't think there'd be many people outside of the NFC West that would have a problem with the Cardinals making a run. I think that would be a popular win for everybody.
Yeah, because it's a different team as well.
Just a likable,
very likable. Yeah, very likable.
Always have been, really.
Yeah, not a bunch of knobheads.
The only thing I do hate about that, if they do win the Super Bowl this year, is Larry Fitz isn't part of it. That would be the only thing that would make me.
Hopefully, they keep ring for him, because he has been a part of that organization through the thick and thin. Well, through the majority thin.
I just thought the Raiders implode.
Yeah,
they're such a dirty team.
Now they are as well.
They're horrible. They're an absolute scruffy, dirty, horrible, shit-stained team.
You don't like them, then, Phil?
No, I mean,
you're emphatic, isn't it?
Say what you mean.
Sit on the fence, don't you?
I've only got absolute muppets who don't even have a clue about the NFL. I'll bet it's the Raiders in it. It's the Raiders in it. It's proper top in it. Like it's a proper pirate.
Yankees.
Oh, pirate. Shut up, you tosser. You know what I mean? It's like it's fucking.
I think Phil gets the last word there on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'd like to extend
Raiders.com gets a copy of this. Brilliant.
Yeah. I'd like to extend a warm hand
my best
to
mate
UK Raiders
football is a Raiders fan. I'm sending this over to him right now.
Yeah.
Look.
They'll end up shooting me.
Derek Carr might win Offensive Player of the Year, and they'll definitely have a head coach who wins Offensive Head Coach of the Year, so they're fine.
I do
Derek Carr. Yeah, Derek Carr's a good
I'm a fan of Carr, but he's
can we talk about his hair? What?
The Lego hair. The Lego hair was
odd, isn't it?
That's Derek Carr. Oh, okay. Weird. just observation.
Absolutely mental, mad. Bloody Raiders, just pots.
They lost the Giants, so all's good. Just a crazy weekend in general, where pretty much every team that should have won didn't. So,
yeah, I mean,
it's a cracking game weekend, wasn't it?
Baltimore.
Not for me, it weren't.
We all moaned about the Steelers sort of struggling against the Bears, but you know what? It was a fucking win at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was
this week. So,
Ravens been lucky to hold on.
Oh, that's
I mean, if they don't sack Mike Zimmer, then they've got to screw loose. I like Mike Zimmer. I don't have a problem with him.
You were so frustrated on the thread.
He has to go.
With Mike Zimmer.
He has to go. I had the Bills Jags game on. Yeah, it's time to go, mate.
Minnesota Vikings fan TV.
Oh my god. I had the Bills Jags game on one screen because my missus is a Jags fan and she was getting quite obviously excited for it. So I had to watch that.
Vikings fan.
Wow.
I had to watch that monstrosity, and then I had the Ravens game on the other side, and it was going well. And then they run the kickoff for a touchdown. I thought, great, this is it. Stick a fork and they're done. And then Zimmer just, oh my god, they've not got a clue. And the thing is, they're not a bad team on paper. They should be they should be in the playoffs.
A solid quarterback, great weapons.
Yep.
A good defense.
Yep.
Like a much
running back
defense from last year.
Yep.
But
although now Dalvin Cook might be out for the rest of the year as well.
Yeah.
Is that well, it's good news for us, I suppose, when we play him.
Well,
yeah, we haven't been great against stopping the run, but
But that is an organisation that should be so much higher than where they are. You know, and I just can't help but feel like that's on their head coach.
My mate who was in Florida sent a message on Sunday. He'd just been to a CrossFit. I mean, he rushed back home to watch the Vikings. He's a Vikings fan. And he just basically put, Jesus Christ, Vikings are an absolute waste of time. It's just like, it's just like, it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I've got a Vikings friend. So I just messaged him. I just said, you had one job.
You had one job, literally one.
You know what, though? I don't think it would necessarily hurt for the Ravens to actually win this division.
Yeah, it depends how you want it to go. Do you want a runaway leader? So
that was my
fighting it all out.
Yeah.
So, me personally, I want a big sort of fucking pro wrestling, just all four teams.
Proper battle royale.
And who's the most physical comes out on top.
Take another one going down
with
the
a
wire.
flame and heading to the playoffs, and that's what I want.
The one thing I will say about the Ravens, and I hope it doesn't happen in a really, because I never want to see players get hurt, even if they're on the Ravens. But the football gods are making mistakes when they're allowing Derrick Henry to get out for the season. All the players, all the great, kind of MVP caliber players that are getting hurt. Joe Burrow, Zach Wilson, Lamar Jackson still takes hits. He still takes contact, and at some point. He's going to get. He's
so thin as well. He's just going to break like a branch.
Slim guy.
I hope it doesn't happen because I don't want to see the best players get hurt. The NFL is always.
Can't we just like wish he breaks a nail or something?
He'll just get COVID for the third time. That's all.
Funny story, man. But a bruised finger or something.
Yeah, bruised finger. Yeah,
I bet a bruised finger. Yeah, because they probably got Brown on that team as well. Who's turned out to be pretty decent.
And he's Antonio's cousin.
Exactly.
I hate that, by the way, that you do not get the nickname Hollywood until you make a Pro Bowl. Make a few Pro Bowls, then you can give yourself a nickname. But, don't come into the league go and call me Hollywood.
That's a Bell-End type thing. That I mean,
the typical Ravens player, isn't he?
I mean, what? It's all gangster, isn't it? Call me Hollywood, liking it and things.
What's that? Who was the Hollywood for Dallas back in the 70s? Hollywood Henderson and things like that. It's like, you can have a nickname when you're Hollywood Henderson. You've won a few Super Bowls for the Cowboys, but you've done nothing yet, mate. Do you know what I mean? Sit down. It just really annoys me.
It does. I agree. You're stupid. Listen, pal, you're stupid. Fucking knobhead.
Okay. Should we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Cool. So, are we going to win the Super Bowl? Anybody? Mentally confident we're going to win it.
Confident we're going to get in the playoffs. I'm confident we can get in the playoffs. You know what? Right. If we're healthy, we can win the Super Bowl. I think we've got the talent that on the day we can beat anyone. We're not the best team by far. But I think we can. No. But I do think we can show up and do it. But the thing is we've got a tendency towards the end of the season to start getting some serious injuries. That happened last year. Yep. Like we were smashing it, and we were doing the job. And then as soon as we got a few crucial injuries, that was it. It was over. And then you saw what happened. We lost like 4. I think it was 4 in a row or something ridiculous.
I think with what we've got with this season, I think I'd be happy with a playoff win. I don't know if that's too much to ask, but I think one playoff win, I'm probably happy with.
I'd be happy with that, Callum. Yeah, that's the thing. It's getting that bugbear off our backs, really. Just go through to the next level of playoffs, and that'll be fine.
I don't think Matt Liver can cope because, like, on the Super Bowl weekend, it's the NFL being greedy and just a bunch of knobheads. I basically the Super Bowl was supposed to be the weekend before. So I booked my stag do for the weekend after. But then they decided to have 17 games in a season. So I managed to, like, I mean, it's like trying to sort out getting dates together for like all the lads with everyone busy world and stuff like that. And so that all went absolutely tits up. And then they went, oh, right, the Super Bowl's on your stag weekend. So I'm coming back from being on the piss for 2 nights. I mean, I've got the Super Bowl. If it's the Steelers,
Oh God,
Mate,
I know, yeah. It's just going to be like, right.
your liver is going to be
It's
like
gonna be,
just
yeah,
it's going to be
in a
pate,
nutshell,
mate.
basically, yeah. So I'm not as much as I want it to happen. But I'm just saying,
I've got
please
one
don't.
relaxing game this year, and if it's in the Super Bowl, so be it.
So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be an interesting one. I think the key is how we're going to do the next couple weeks. I think that's going to really determine everything. It's how our division is going to turn out. Really, I think we're going to start seeing a bit of a breakaway in the next few weeks. In the AFC North, especially, which I reckon that pattern will continue then towards the end of the year. But it's basically which team breaks first.
Yeah. Does anyone have any hope of Tuitt coming back?
I thought
because I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so purely because of like the Fletcher Cox interest that we showed, and I think
I don't think he's
writing on.
Yeah, I don't think it's a physical thing. I think what's happened, in his
exactly. Yeah,
I think it's very much a sort of Calvin Ridley sort of situation, if you like. It's sort of like, okay, let's sort of mental health out and then see where I am on
and you can't help you gotta respect. I mean, Calvin Ridley, I thought what he did a few weeks back was incredibly strong, brave. To be able to go in front of organisations and their fan base and say, look, I just need time. I need to take a step back. Fair play to him, and I hope he gets well. And it'd be nice to see him back on the field because they're incredible people. So
yeah, absolutely cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, again, thanks for your company. A good hour and a half of healthy, lovely debate.
Yes.
And also Zach Banner bashing. So that might become a weekly thing as we go on.
We'll get Stuart to send that to his mate.
Zach Banner, sort yourself out. Okay. So yeah, Sunday we're back at a respectable time on a Sunday at 6 o'clock.
Oh, thank God.
With the triple.
I won't be able to watch. I've got a game on Sunday. I'm going at like 5 p.m. So I'll be playing.
Who are you playing this week?
We're playing Bangor away, but it'll be in Liverpool.
Bangor.
Nice.
Bangor away, Jesus. There's a game of tie.
What's the name, Callum?
Bangor versus
What's the name?
Is that the Mud Dogs?
Yeah, it's the Mud Dogs. Yeah,
yeah. Fucking hell.
Bangor Mud Dogs against the University of Central Lancashire Rams.
Poor. Oh, prime time.
Oh look, it's a reject Rams helmet. Is there a live stream now?
Probably not, seeing as we're division, seeing as we're tier 3.
I'll have to keep a lookout for them. I know some colleges do them. So, but yeah, anytime it comes on, if you do get one, we'll stick it on the group. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, more happy to keep up with that.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Okay, gents. Thanks again for your company.
Pleasure.
Love you, Jason. Pleasure as always.
And discuss the embers of the at the end of the season at some point. And see where we are. Cool. Definitely. All right, gents.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
No worries. Cheers, Jason.
Thank you very much, guys.
Good, guys.
Guys, take care.